In menopause, if your goal is fat loss, maintaining your weight, or building a little muscle, you need more than good intentions. You need to understand what you're actually eating and whether it lines up with what you want. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to start figuring that out so you can stop guessing and start eating in a way that actually matches your goal. Because so many women say, but I eat really healthy and still feel frustrated that the weight is not moving. Their waist feels thicker or their stomach feels puffy after meals. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. And if you're new here, I'm Jody and I help women in perimenopause and menopause through yoga, movement, breathwork, and simple wellness practices that actually make sense. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a much better understanding of how to start figuring out whether you should be eating at maintenance, in a deficit, or whether you may actually be in a surplus without realizing it. I also made you a free guide to help get you started, including a ChatGPT prompt you can use to build a simple nutrition plan. So let's get into it. Over the years, I've had so many women tell me, I eat really healthy, but I can't lose weight. And I get it. You might be eating salads or smoothies. Maybe you're choosing organic foods or plant-based foods, homemade foods, healthy snacks, nuts, seeds, avocado, and olive oil. And yes, all those foods can absolutely and should be a part of a healthy diet. But here's the part so many women miss. A food can be healthy and still not match your goal. That's the key. This video is not about obsessing over every bite. This is about clarity. Because if your goal is fat loss, maintenance, or building a little muscle, healthy food alone is not enough. You need to know whether the amount you're eating actually supports the result that you want. And this is also where social media can be really unhelpful. A lot of influencers will show you what they eat, and then they'll show you their beautiful body. They'll show you the results. But most don't tell you the full picture. They usually don't tell you their height. They don't tell you their weight. They don't tell you their daily calories, and they won't share their macros. And if they do, sometimes they make it feel like a huge reveal. Now, I understand why some people keep that private. They say they don't want their viewers comparing themselves to them, and that is totally fair. But I also think a lot of women are not looking for comparison. They're looking for context, a baseline, a starting point, something practical that helps them make more sense of their own nutrition. Because if no one teaches you how to figure out your own numbers, then you're left guessing. And guessing is exactly what keeps so many women stuck. So let's simplify this. Now, before you say, I eat healthy, you also need to ask, healthy for what goal? Are you eating at maintenance? Are you eating in a deficit? Or are you actually eating in a surplus without realizing it? Maintenance means you're eating around the amount your body needs to stay about the same weight. A deficit means you're eating less than your body burns, so over time your body can lose fat. A surplus means you're eating more than your body burns, and some people use that intentionally to build muscle. But if fat loss is your goal, a surplus is going to work against you. And this is where a lot of women get tripped up. They think they're in a deficit because the food is healthy. But healthy doesn't automatically mean low enough in calories for fat loss. Healthy foods can still be calorie dense, and healthy foods can still be high in fat. They can still push you into maintenance or even a surplus if portions are too large. So what do I want you to do instead? I want you to stop copying random people online and start learning your own body. A very simple place to begin is with the TDEE calculator. TDEE stands for Total Daily Energy Expenditure, and that's just an estimate of how many calories your body burns in a day based on your age, height, weight, and activity level. So go to tdeecalculator.net. You're going to put in your age, your height, your weight, and choose your activity level honestly. And then look at the number it gives you. Now, this number is not magic and it's not perfect. This number is not set in stone, but it's a starting point, and that's it. It's a much better starting point than just hoping you're eating the right amount. Once you have that number, you can get a better idea of whether your intake should be around maintenance, in a moderate deficit, or somewhere else based on your goal. And then you can start looking at macros, protein, carbs, and fat, because that matters too. Two women can both be eating healthy foods, but if one woman is getting enough protein and a balanced amount of carbs and fat, while the other woman is eating low protein and very high fat, they're probably not going to get the same result. And this brings me to another huge point. You need to see what you're eating, not estimate it, not vaguely remember it, not mentally run through it at the end of the day. Actually see it. And this is why a food journal can be such a powerful tool. And no, I'm not saying you need to track forever. But for many women, tracking for even 1 to 2 weeks can be incredibly eye-opening, because what feels like not that much can add up really quickly, especially with foods like olive oil, salad dressing, nuts, seeds, avocado, nut butter, granola, my favorite, hummus, protein bars, and all the little handfuls, drizzles, bites, tastes, and extras that never quite make it into that mental math. A food journal gives you reality, and reality is useful because once you can actually see what you're eating, you can make smart adjustments instead of emotional ones. Now, let me give you my own example because this was a huge wake-up call for me too. For a long time, I was eating as much healthy fat as I wanted because, well, it was healthy. Avocado, nuts, seeds, oils, nut butters, all good foods. But what I didn't realize was that my fat intake had quietly climbed to over 100 grams a day. And when I brought it down to around 65 grams a day, I noticed a huge difference around my waist in 1 week. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that every woman is going to have that exact same experience, and I'm not saying fat is bad. That's not the message. The message is that I was eating high-quality foods, but the amount was not matching my goal. That was the issue. And there is another piece to this that I think women need to hear. Fat is the slowest macronutrient to leave the stomach. So when meals are very high in fat, even if the fat quality is excellent, it can create more fullness, heaviness, and that tight, puffy overall feeling in the upper belly after meals. So sometimes what women are calling belly bloat is not always just body fat. Sometimes it's also that heavy, overly full feeling from richer meals and more fat than the body handles comfortably. And when fat intake comes down, some women may notice that meals feel lighter and that abdominal distension improves fairly quickly. Again, this does not mean low fat is the answer for everybody. And it doesn't mean healthy fats are the enemy. It just means more is not always better. And that's an important lesson. So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, this might be me, here's where I want you to start. First, figure out your goal. Are you trying to maintain your weight? Are you trying to lose fat? Or are you accidentally eating in a surplus? Second, go to TDEE calculator and get a starting estimate. Third, look at the macro suggestions and begin paying attention to your protein, carbs, and fat. And again, remember, this is not punishment. It's not to become obsessive. It's just to understand what your body may need based on your goal. And fourth, track your food for at least a week, 2 if you can. Not forever, just long enough to learn something. Track your calories, your protein, your carbs, and your fat. And just observe. It's not to judge yourself or to panic and not to get dramatic, just to collect the data. And fifth, pay very close attention to your fats. Not because fat is bad, but because fat is an easy overshoot, especially when you're eating healthy foods and not measuring them. And if you want help getting started, I created a free menopause macro starter guide that walks you through how to estimate your calories, Understand your macros and use ChatGPT as a simple tool to help you track your macros and build meal ideas and a starting plan. Because once you have your numbers, ChatGPT can help you turn those numbers into something practical like meals, grocery lists, simple swaps, and a basic daily structure. So if you've been saying, but I eat healthy and are still feeling stuck, I want you to shift the question. Instead of only asking, is my food healthy? Also ask, is my intake aligned with my goal? That is a much more useful question. And honestly, it's a much more empowering one too. Because once you stop guessing, once you start paying attention, and once you actually see what you're eating, you can make changes that truly move the needle. Not extreme changes, unless you want that, or trendy changes. Just smart, honest, effective changes. I hope this video helped you, and let me know in the comments if you've ever had that moment where you realized, wow, I thought I was eating healthy, but I was missing the bigger picture. And if you want more simple, no-nonsense menopause support through movement, food, breathwork, and real life wellness, make sure you subscribe, grab the free guide below, and I'll see you in the next video.